Hi, welcome to my channel, Math Made Easy with Laurel. I'm Laurel, and in this video we're going to take a look at finding velocity and displacement as applications of integration. In the videos prior to this one, we've talked about the definite integral, we've talked about the indefinite integral, and now we're going to take a look at where we use the integral. The first application that we're going to take a look at is finding velocities and displacements. So in order to do that, I need to review something that we talked about when we were doing derivatives. And that is A, which represents acceleration, is the instantaneous rate of change of velocity with respect to time. V is velocity, T is time. So in other words, A is the derivative of the velocity. Acceleration is found by finding the derivative of velocity. Therefore, I could find velocity if I know acceleration. So what I'm going to do is just reverse this. So dv dt will equal acceleration. I'm going to multiply both sides by dt. And then I'm going to integrate both sides. The integral of dv will just be v. So v will be the integral of acceleration. So we're just going in reverse of differentiating. Similarly, the velocity is the instantaneous rate of change of displacement, S is displacement, with respect to time. So in other words, velocity is the derivative of displacement with respect to time. So I can reverse that. I'm just going to rewrite this as ds dt will equal v. I'm going to multiply both sides by dt. I'm going to integrate both sides. The integral of a differential is simply S will be the integral of v dt. So the displacement is the integral of the velocity. Velocity is the integral of acceleration. Let's take a look at how we use these formulas in terms of problems. Our first example says a ball is rolled up a ramp with an initial velocity of 5 meters per second. The acceleration due to the slope of the ramp is 1.75 meters per second squared downwards. Find the velocity of the ball at 4 seconds. So we're given the acceleration of the ramp, and we're given a set of values. We're given the initial velocity. So we want to find velocity. We know acceleration. It's constant. So we'll start there. So we know acceleration, it's downward, so it's negative 1.75 meters per second squared. If the acceleration is an upward direction, it would be positive. We know velocity is the integral of acceleration. So our velocity in this case would be the integral of negative 1.75 dt. And that would be negative 1.75 t plus our constant of integration. In order to calculate that constant, we need a set of values. And the set of values that we're given is initial velocity. Initial means at the beginning, so it means at time 0. So we know velocity is 5 meters per second at t equals 0 seconds. When we have a set of values, we plug it in to find our constant of integration. So velocity will be 5 when t is 0. So our constant of integration is 5. So our function for velocity is negative 1.75 t plus 5. Now that we have that function, we can find the velocity at any time. This question asks us at 4 seconds. So we are finding v at t equals 4 seconds. In order to do that, we plug 4 in for t in our velocity equation. That's negative 7 plus 5. So the velocity is negative 2. The unit will be meters per second. And what that's telling us is that at that point, the ball is actually rolling back down the ramp. It's gone up as high as it will, and now it's rolling back down if the velocity is negative. Let's take a look at another example. This next example is very typical of one that you're probably going to see. It says an arrow is shot directly upward at an initial velocity of 50 meters per second. How high will the arrow reach, and when will the arrow hit the ground? So at first glance, it probably seems like there's not a lot of information, but any questions that involve something that's being shot straight upwards or dropped and going straight downwards, all of those objects have a constant acceleration due to gravity acting on them. And that acceleration is negative 9.8 meters per second squared. So we're going to start with the acceleration, and we're going to then find the function for velocity. Remember, velocity is the integral of acceleration. So velocity will be the integral of negative 9.8 dt. So velocity will be negative 9.8 t plus a constant of integration. Since we're going to be doing integration again, I'm going to call this constant C1. You might also want to call it V sub 0. We need information from our question so that we can calculate our constant, and that information is the initial velocity. So if the initial velocity is 50 meters per second, velocity is 50 meters per second at t equals 0 seconds. So we plug that in. So our constant will be 50. So our function for velocity will be negative 9.8 t plus 50. Now that we have that function, we can now find the function for displacement, because we want to know how high the arrow will reach. So that's displacement. So our function for displacement is the integral of velocity. When I integrate this, the integral of the first term, divide this by 2 because my exponent is 2, so it will be negative 4.9 t squared plus 50t plus, anytime you do integration, you have a constant of integration. This time I'll call it C2. We look for another set of values that will allow us to find this constant. It doesn't specifically tell us what the displacement is at any time. However, because they didn't tell us that the arrow was shot from a building or from a cliff, we're going to assume that at ground level. So we know that the displacement is 0 at time 0. So S is equal to 0 meters at t equals 0 seconds. When I put a 0 in for t and a 0 in for s, hopefully you can see that C2 will equal 0. Therefore, my function for displacement is negative 4.9 t squared plus 50t. So we now have our function for displacement, we have our function for velocity. Now let's look at answering the questions. It says, how high will the arrow reach? Well, in order to find displacement, we need a time. We don't know when that arrow is going to reach its maximum height. However, we do know that as that arrow is going up, it does have a positive velocity, but that velocity is decreasing until it reaches 0. When it reaches 0, it starts falling back, downward. We know that arrow will reach its highest displacement when the velocity is 0. So let's find t when velocity equals 0 meters per second. That's the point where the arrow stops going up and starts coming down, and that's going to be the highest height. So we plug a 0 in for v. We solve for t. And we get a value of 5.1 seconds. Therefore, I'm going to find s when t is 5.1. So find s when t is 5.1 seconds. We plug 5.1 in our function for displacement, and on my calculator I'll actually use the value that I obtained through this division. I've written it down, rounded off, but I'll use the actual value. and I get a displacement of 127.6 meters. That's how high the arrow will reach. So I've answered this question. Let's look at our second question. When will the arrow hit the ground? The arrow will hit the ground when S is equal to 0. So what we're going to do is find T when S is equal to 0. So again, those are two very common questions that you will see on a problem like this one. So we set S equal to 0 and we solve for T. This is a quadratic equation. We can solve it a variety of methods, but I think the easiest way to solve it is by factoring. We'll factor out a T. And our factor theorem tells us that we'll have a solution if T is equal to 0, or if this factor equals 0. We set this equal to 0, we solve for T, and we get 10.2 seconds. So we've now answered the second question. We're not going to bother with this because, of course, at time 0, we already know displacement is 0. So that arrow hasn't even left the bow yet. So this is the value we're looking for. These two problems are very typical of ones you're going to see when you're working with velocity and displacement. So hopefully these will provide enough guidance for you to be able to figure out the problems that you're given. Again, practice as many as you can. We are going to look at other applications of the integral. So the next thing we're going to do is area between curves. Take care and see you then.